Welcome back to video number 3. This video shows you that not all that glitters is gold in all these royal families. Forget about Harry. All right, we're going to cover the UK royals and then we're going to move into the other royals. Some good news, some bad. Let's jump in. Let's go. We are starting with the royal family who put out a notice that it was Playdate 2024. Now, this is apparently really a big thing for babies and young children. It's vital for health, well-being, development, how they learn about themselves and connect with others. I love it. Moving on. Next up, happy 61st birthday to Timothy Taylor. He is the son-in-law of the Duke of Kent. We also wish Princess Beatrice a happy birthday. Sarah Ferguson, we had heard some rumors that she had been offered a spot on BBC's Strictly Come Dancing, and come to find out, they were true. They did offer her a spot, but what's being reported is that she immediately said no, and she wasn't going to do that sort of thing. I think she's trying to act more like the royal that she should have been. Moving on. This story just got me. Apparently, a letter written by the Queen Mother, and later it was used as a bookmark, is coming up for sale. It was a thank you letter. It was dated January 27th, 1923, and was written following the news that she was then the Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon, was engaged to Prince Albert, Duke of York, who later became King George VI. Apparently, Miss Dundee sent a congratulatory letter in, and the Queen Mother sent the letter back, and it was a handwritten letter, and it's being sold by Hanson's Auctioneers at the end of the month. These are the kind of stories I love. It's like a little nugget of history found in a book. Love it. All right, moving on. It's being said that Princess Eugenie is adamant that she wants to move permanently back to Britain. She wants to be closer to her parents, especially with her children. And there is also a little bit of a rumor going around that when she helped out at that garden party, she was getting a taste of the working royals and she liked it. I'll keep an eye on this. Moving on. Let's move on now to Sophie and Edward. They had a joint engagement after Sophie returned from Paris. The two of them went to a special Starlight Express performance for charity. Sophie looked gorgeous in this chic pattern dress she was wearing, and they were together at Wembley Park Theatre. Now, the charity they were supporting is a disability charity and also a college in Surrey, and it serves young disabled adults to learn and develop through the arts. And of course, Prince Edward is the patron there. They both looked absolutely gorgeous. I love that dress that she's wearing. Several pictures are taken with Sophie and Edward and Richard Stilgo, Rachel Black, who runs the Center Events fundraiser, Megan Robinson, and the theater manager for Wembley Park. Now, of course, they also got to meet a lot of the cast and had some fabulous photos taken as well. They look fabulous. Love them. Let's move on. Well, King Charles, apparently there's lots of riots going on in Britain literally every night. And it's being reported that King Charles has asked his aides to update him daily on what's going on. He apparently is engaging privately in the issues that are going on around the riots, which have been engineered, the articles say, by far-right thugs that are fueled by misinformation about the identity of the suspects in the Southport stabbings that unfortunately took the lives of 3 young little girls. Now, reports of the king's concerns about the riots were reported by Sky News because thousands of specialist riot cops were mobilized ahead of around 100 far-right protests that were expected to take place across Britain. It looks like they've arrested and hauled in front of the judge at least 140 people. And police forces across England have mobilized over 6,000 riot officers amid more protests. Guys, I don't know what the answer is to this, but busting up people's businesses and beating people up in the middle of the street is just not going to help. Let's move on. All right, I love these stories. Apparently, Princess Sophie of Bavaria and her husband have had their first child. She did actually faint at her wedding. I can't even imagine. Anyway, they're saying that the mother and child are in excellent health and they're home and they're enjoying just being home. I think that's very nice. All right, moving on. And of course, Jordan's royal court announced the birth of Princess Iman, a beautiful baby. Looks like the whole family was thrilled. We remember that wedding, that gorgeous pink dress that Catherine wore at the wedding. I'm so happy for them. All right, let's move on now. Next up, we have Prince Albert of Monaco and his daughter, Princess Alexandra. They apparently were in Paris for the Olympics. And while they were there, they decided to stop in and visit the operational center of the French Red Cross. Apparently, Prince Albert is the president of the Monaco Red Cross. So Albert was there to get info about all the measures that had been implemented during the Paris Olympic Games and meet some of the Monaco Red Cross volunteers who were working there alongside the French organizations. Wow, I love that. All right, now let's move on to this next story. This is very interesting. The eldest son of Norway's crown princess, Marit, is apparently under suspicion for attacking somebody. Now, I remember this story. She was single, unwed. She had a child out of wedlock. She met the prince. People didn't like her. She had to put out a statement, apologizing for her past deeds in order for people to accept her. So the crown prince is the stepfather to this kid. He is not the father. Now, he has no royal title, no official duties, which may explain that every picture you see him in, he is angry and just looks like he wants to kill somebody. That's all I can say. So anyway, there was a disturbance in downtown Oslo, and this man was detained, and they turned out it was her son. He's 27, and he faces some charges. Police said there was a relationship between the suspect and the victim, but they don't have more information. But the victim did suffer serious injuries. Do not misunderstand me. I do not advocate violence, but could you imagine growing up? Your siblings have royal titles and official duties, and they're heirs to the throne. And then here you are, because your mother decided to have you, out of wedlock, and she married wealthy, and you're kind of an afterthought, because in these pictures, here's the royal family, and then they add him at the last minute after the official photos are taken. I could see where this kid could have some psychological problems. All right, you guys know what to do. Hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. Then you leave your comments, and then you're going to go down into the description box where you're going to find the links to my Twitter, Gettr, Rumble, email, Patreon, which right now is paused, my Amazon wish list, and a physical address in case there's something you want to send. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.